So that's why I always like to go invis. As soon as I place it down, that's how you just absolutely destroy them. What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. So in today's video I'm going to be showing you guys how to build and play Loki in Season 8 of SMITE. And I'm mainly going to be talking about his role as jungle and solo lane in Conquest, because that's the two main roles that he has played in. And then I'm going to also talk about some tips on how to actually play him, you know, how to use his kit, auto attack cancelling and which abilities can do that. And just like, you know, the order in which you should be using your 4 abilities to maximize your damage output, including auto attack cancels and the order that will give you the biggest burst. And then I'm also going to talk about his leveling order of his abilities, and you know which ones you should max first or alternate between throughout the game. And the build I'm going to show you, I will put some links in the description below of some gameplay of me playing in SMITE using those builds, and you know how well they work basically, and basically how I do use the tips that I give in this video of how to use the abilities. I'll also leave timestamps in the description below of when I'm talking about each build, whether it's jungle or solo, even though they are pretty similar. When I'm talking about the level, ability, order, or in which way you should max them, and then the tips as well. So without further ado, let's get into the build. I'm going to start off with jungle first, and in that case, as you probably already know, in the Season 8 we have 2 different types. We've got the Eye of the Jungle, Boomba's Dagger. The main reason for going Boomba's Dagger is just because you want to go into Boomba's Hammer, because that item is broken currently. So we're going to go Boomba's Dagger, and then I like to go first tier Mace, and then with the 250 gold I have left, I go 3 health pots and 2 mana. That's just, you know, just to help you jungle better. You do get some regen from that, but the regen from this is nice as well, especially when you start off helping the mid laner, because your opponent assassin will usually be in the mid lane as well. So that's the basic start, and then we can leave base and go do our camps. After that, I prefer to finish boots first, just because that movement speed is you're gonna need that as a jungler early game. When you're just trying to gank different lanes, you want to get your boots first. Even if you do have the gold for Crusher, I still highly recommend that you finish boots first. You just start with Mace just because the 15 power is obviously better than first tier, which is just 6% movement speed. I did used to go, you know, the Transcendent start, but for me it's just too slow. In Conquest, yes, you will struggle a bit with mana. You can just buy mana pots, so I just buy a mana chalice a few minutes into the game. But the stacking of Transcendent, so actually getting a 2600 item, gold item compared to, well, I think that's 2400. So 200 gold in Conquest is definitely like a lot higher, because your gold, the rate at which you get gold is very slow. So you finish boots, and then you get Crusher. So at this point it is actually your choice. You can, when you want to finish this item, you can choose to go Beatstick. You know, if they have like an Aphrodite and a Changa, or just like a Terra or a Baron, and their healing is just really annoying, go Beatstick first by all means. If they have one healer, chances are the healing early game isn't going to be crazy. Like Chak's healing is decent, but early game, if you do gank right lane, 2 people damaging is going to be more than enough to kill him. So you don't need to rush it. But if they have 2 healers, then definitely go Beatstick first. But most of the time, I'll go Crusher. After Crusher, I will always go Soul Eater. I just, especially so in season, well, since Loki got his rework, I just think his kit, especially with his 2 and his 3, the constant damage that you're doing is a lot better for healing. Whereas before it was like, this is just an aimed strike, 2 is just an explosion, so you know Soul Eater was pretty much useless. But now Soul Eater is really good, especially gives in the jungle more potential, because you're not always like low health, and Loki obviously doesn't have a heal in his kit, so Soul Eater does help him get that edge. So you're healing from Boomba's Dagger, and then you're healing from Soul Eater as well, and then late game you're healing from Soul Eater and Boomba's Hammer, Boomba's Dagger and Boomba's Hammer, yeah. So definitely going to Soul Eater, start stacking that, and then at this point is when you start thinking, you know, what do I want to do in this game compared to who I'm versing. So a lot of people comment in my videos that in your how to build video you said do this, but in the gameplay you've done this. And to that I always say this is a build that works most of the time, or a generic build that if you follow it will work, as long as you adjust it a bit as well. And by that I mean, you know, if they have two tanks, or if their solo lane is going a lot of defense and the tank is going a lot of defense, straight away, if they're getting a sovereignty and they're giving their allies defense as well, or if you've got Sylvanas getting the Lotus Crown and giving his allies protections, you probably want to rush Titan's Bane because that'll give you that 20% pen. If they're not, then you know you can just go into a Hydra's because you want that 10% cooldown. If they're getting a decent amount of defense but a lot of health, you want to go into a Heartseeker. So it's always dependent on the situation that you're in, which is what you got to bear in mind. Most of the time, I feel like the burst with Heartseeker works really well. It gives you that like 30% into the game or 20% into the game, that 10% penetration is really good because you're like almost a quarter of the way through the game, if not almost like half, let's say, if you did get a slow start. So in that case, Soul Eater will be, Heartseeker will be really good. Not to mention that you've also gotten the 10% penetration from Soul Eater. So combined with Heartseeker, you'll have 20% penetration and you will have that percentage health damage. So solo lane and the tank is not going to be as much of an issue for you in combat. So that's why I would say Heartseeker is the next item I like to go. If not Heartseeker, I'll go Hydra's. If not Hydra's, I'll go into Beat Stick. So, like I said, if they do have one healer like Chak, but that is it, I'll go Crusher, Soul Eater, and then I'll go Beat Stick because I'll be like, right, this point in the game, Chak is healing too much. He's maxing his heal, for example, so that heal is going to be an issue. So I'm going to go Beat Stick now. But again, that depends on the situation that you're in. That's why I'm going to tell you both. So at this point, you can either go Beat Stick or you go Heartseeker. Most of the time, I'll go Heartseeker because if healing is that much of an issue, I'll go it over here. So I'll go Heartseeker. At this point, that's when you look at defense. So I rarely go Titan's Bane just because if you look here, we have 10% penetration from Soul Eater, 10% from Heartseeker, and we go into Boomba's Hammer that gives 10%. So you already got 30%. And then with this, you know, your first ability would have another 40%. You got like 70%, which is definitely overcapping. If you're in a situation where you don't build Heartseeker, you go into a Beat Stick, and then you're like, yo, I need this penetration right now, straight away, go into Titan's Bane, not Heartseeker. But again, this is what you do most of the time. So you go into a Heartseeker. I like to go Hydra's at this point just because the MP5 is just really good. Because, you know, at this point in the game, you are spamming your abilities or whatever, especially after you get your cooldown from Boomba's Hammer. You're going to be spamming. And I just find with Loki, especially with his first ability using 90 mana each time, it gets annoying when you don't have mana. So that's why I like to go Hydra's, especially because you're guaranteed an auto attack after your ult anyway. So that's why Hydra's is really good. Now at this point you've got 20% cooldown. Now people are like, you know, why don't you go Jotuns? Yes, before I used to go Jotuns to get the cooldown. Obviously it gives 20% and it gives 50 power as well now. But the thing I've realized with a lot of assassins is maybe it's worth waiting for the 20% from Boomer's Hammer, because early game you want to be bursting gods. You don't want to be there. Like, what I've understood about cooldown is you don't want to be there for too long. You don't want to rely on, oh, I need to use my 3 on them twice. So I've used it now, and then I've got to wait 9 seconds or 8 seconds or 7, whatever with it is cooldown, and then I want to be in that fight to use it again. Mainly cooldown is only beneficial for your 1, because then it's going to help you escape or chase an enemy. That is the reason why I don't rush cooldown as much now, because like with the Soul Eater penetration, with the Heartseeker burst, with the abilities and the percentage health, with the tick of the 1 damage, and the Crusher which does tick damage as well, the burst is a lot better. So that's why I don't rush cooldown as much. But late game, you know, when you're doing in team fights, you do want to use my abilities more, which is why I go the Boomba's Hammer last. So Boomba's Dagger into a Crusher, into Boots, into Soul Eater, helps with sustain, into a Heartseeker, better against tanks. Hydra's Lament helps with mana, gives you a bit more cooldown, lets you one-shot the squishy gods as well, like the mages and the hunters. And then the Boomba's Hammer will make you a bit tankier, it gives you 300 health, 200 mana, the 20% cooldown, which is just really good, the 10% penetration against the tank, so now you got 30% penetration, gives you a bit more healing and true damage from your basic attacks after using ability, and I just think it's the most broken item in the game right now. Like, the amount of stats it gives you is just crazy. So I'm just going to go into a quick item stack. So that is basically the finalized build that you're looking from. Relics in jungle, I'll go Blink, and then second relic I'll either go Beads or Aegis, depending on, you know, if they got an Ares or a Daji, I'll go Beads. if they got a lot of CC in general, really. But if they just got a lot of burst, then I'll just go on Aegis. And that is pretty much the generic jungle build that I go on Loki. So that's that. Now I'm just going to talk about some situational changes. Like I said, in situations where they've got healers, that Crusher will be a beat stick. Situations where you're finding it too hard to get your auto on them. You're like, for some reason they always CC me or whatever. Swap that out for an Iron Dye. It's definitely really good. It gives you that cooldown, so it's being swapped. But then after your ult, you can spam out your abilities. If you can't auto attack them, you find it too difficult, your abilities will still do the damage. You find yourself dying too much just in general, go with Shifter Shield. It'll give you physical protection, some power if you're above 75% health, and then when you're a bit low and you just find yourself, I'm just dying really quick, you'll get another 40 protections, magical and physical, so help you survive that little bit extra. If you just find yourself going in and you just get one kill and you die, go Bloodforge. Bloodforge instead of the Hydras, definitely. Mainly because the percentage damage definitely from Heartseeker is good. You need the healing. That'll be a Crusher or a Beat Stick, so you need that. I just feel like Hydra is the one item that I feel like I could live without. Even though mana would be an issue, but Bloodforge instead of Hydras, if you keep dying after every single kill, you're like, this is really annoying. Bloodforge will give you really good power. Lifesteal will work really well if you want to go quickly heal off some camps, which I have done. You heal from the basic attack of the Boombers, from Soul Eater, and from the Bloodforge. And like I said, you'll get the shield after a kill, so it will help you survive. Which is why you can get that instead of the Hydras. So this build currently does have 40% cooldown. Again, if you get Bloodforge instead of Hydras, or Shifter Shield instead of Hydras, you can even get Beast Stick instead of Hydras if you want to keep the extra damage and attack speed from Crusher. That doesn't really matter because the red pot does give 10% cooldown. So you do still get your max cooldown. Now just to talk about solo lane. With solo lane, the main difference is that you start off with Bluestone Pendant and still the first tier of Crusher, still going to boots and that and whatever really. Pretty much the same build. The only difference again is that if you're versing a Chang'e or a Chak in solo lane or a Jonqui or a Baron or a Mulan, go with the Beat Stick first because their healing can be really annoying. I'm pretty sure Mulan has some healing in a kit. And even Sobek actually, which I was actually struggling with, but Beat Stick really does stop a lot of his healing from his slash. But yeah, you go into that and then you finish off with Bluestone Bruges. And the rest of the build is pretty much the same. You still want your healing, sustain. You can go a bit defensive if you want. Me personally, I think with Loki, it's a lot of the time it's a one-shot or it's nothing. You want to go in there, you want to kill someone, you want to leave. You don't really want to be sticking around and doing some side damage because at the end of the day, yes, his ult is a lot better because you do get that area stun, but I just prefer just going one shot still, and it works really well because especially with this Bluestone Pendant and first to Crusher start, you do a lot of the time get first blood in your solo lane just because they never expect the damage, which is why you surprise them with that. I'm going to go and reduce cooldowns, and yeah, the rest of the build is the same. You can choose to go kind of a hybrid, you know, get a Shifter Shield instead of that, get a Void Shield there or an Untitled if you want. But that is mainly just up to you really, what you want to get. But these 4 items, always get them. Heartseeker, get an Untitled instead. Shifter Shield, you can get Shifter Shield or you can get a Void Shield for the penetration. That's completely up to you. You can go a bit tanky if you want. The Ansel will give you magical, the Void Shield or Shifters gives you the physical and some magical. But they're both really good. Also, the difference is, in jungle, I'll usually go Mana Chalice just because I do struggle with mana early game. But in solo lane, because I do have the mana pots, the mana buff, I do get a Chalice of Healing instead. And yeah, that's about it. So let me just go back to the main build that I use. 30% penetration, 40% cooldown, attack speed, lifesteal, health from Boomber's Hammer. Oh god, I sold the wrong item. Health from Boomber's Hammer, penetration, like it's just an overall really good build. Just to do a quick test, we're gonna go to Godbots, and you'll just see now how how well it works. And they're just dead basically. So that's pretty much the builds you want to be using. Now I'm going to go through... Oh wait, just one more thing. Solo lane, instead of blink, you go teleport, just because you want to get to lane quick. You do get that movement speed from your 1, but you know, teleporting there is still better. So now I'm going to move on to the tips. So first I'm going to talk about auto attack cancels actually. Then I'll go into the tips. So auto attack cancel firstly is when if you click K, if you're on PC, you'll see over here you got 1.5, 0.5, 0.5 of 1.5. That basically means that you do 1 times your basic damage, 0.5, 0.5, 0.5, 1.5. That's your basically attack chain. And auto attack cancel is, if I just go out of that, that is my first auto attack. So if I do that and then I press 2, I will do the first again. I will not do the slash to the side. I will do that, that. So that's your first auto attack cancel, which you can definitely do. If I go to him and do this right now, so you saw that I attacked him, and then I pressed my 2, and then I attacked him again. So that's the auto attack cancel that people really don't use, and I've been using it, and then that's why I'm getting my first person where when people are like, how are you doing that? Well, you know, it's auto attack. I'll do both auto attacks now. It's 1, 1. So your 1 is an auto attack cancel, and your 2 is an auto attack cancel. So I'll auto attack here, and then I'll press 1. Auto attack, 1, auto attack. So I instantly attack after I use my 1. I attack, do that, and I attack instantly. So your 1 and 2 are your auto attack cancels. Whenever you're going to a buff or anything, just go to them. I do this. So you auto attack cancel with your 2 and you auto attack cancel with your 1. That's how you auto attack cancel with Loki. It did used to be his 3 as well, but now his 3 is a slash obviously, so it doesn't really work with that. And always remember, the reason Hydras work so well with Loki is because his auto attack is guaranteed after it's done. So now to move on to the tips. The fastest way, number 1, the fastest way to kill someone is to use your whole kit, if you can. By that I mean maximize, you know, if you're going to ult them, use your 1 and your 2, because why not? Whenever you ult someone, this is how I do it. I go invis, I put my thing there first, and then I ult them. So you saw that, yeah? That is how you kill someone instantly. So to break down what I did there, when you use your 1, your next basic attack does tick damage, basically. It's like a bleed. And that is really good because while you're attacking them after you've ulted them or whatever, they're taking damage from your 1, the tick damage, so they'll just get shredded even faster. Secondly, tip number 2 should I say, whenever you ult them when you go invis, place your 2 down first. Because you see that, yeah? In the description, I guess you could say, of the skills, if an enemy gets 4 stacks, they become blinded and allow Loki to benefit from behind you. So once I go invis and I place that there, after they suffer from 4 ticks, whether I'm behind them or not, I still get his passive where I do 20% bonus damage. I'll try and show it on an Odin god here. So this is just normal, yeah? So I place that down, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, see? I'm doing extra damage, 386, 360, because they get blinded, they're a bit like poisoned, and you can benefit from behind you. So that's why I always like to go invis. As soon as I place it down, that's how you just absolutely destroy them. And there's basically nothing you can do. And, you know, just for those people that are still trying to get it, I'll do it slow motion. So I do my 1, my 2, and then I ult there. Well, my ult's on cooldown, and then I do my 3. You don't have to do your 3. I can show you without the 3. I just put my 2 down. They're still dead either way, but the 3 just kind of, you know, uses your full kit. If you're gonna one-shot them, you might as well do that. So that's your second tip, I guess. Third tip is going to be when you're doing your camps, time your abilities. I wish I was weaker. So you do that, 2, 3, 4, then do your 3. So what I do a lot of the time is, I do that, 1, I finish my auto attack chain, by then they've been hit by all 4 ticks, and then your 3 will do more damage. I see people that just, you know, put their 2 down and they just start doing that, and I'm like, well, you're not really benefiting from the full damage that you could be doing because you want to your 3 benefits from behind you. As you can see there, this is what he can benefit from behind you, his passive. So when they're hit by 4 ticks of your 2 and then you use your 3, they suffer from behind you. I'll demonstrate down here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you can see it's doing more damage. So that is tip number 3. Whenever you're clearing wave or buffs or whatever, place your 2 down, auto attack, 4 ticks, do your 3. And yeah, the 4th tip really is just, you know, maximize your auto attack cancels whenever you can, and don't really like underestimate it, because a lot of the time it can be just really good. I'll try it on Raw now. So that one, I need that. It's just crazy how much damage you can do, especially with the new rework he got. So yeah, I'll just go through it one last time. I know I've gone it through like 10 times, but a lot of people, you know, some people can be new to the game, so I'll just like go through it again. The reason you go invis is because when you ult them and attack them, they get the tick damage. When you go invis, place down your 2 on them, because if you ult them in here, they're taking tick damage. When you start attacking them after, they're gonna suffer from behind you, and you know, why not? Like, it's just extra damage. They're taking damage from your 1 because you've done that. They're taking damage from your 2 because you've done that. They're taking damage because you're ult because you've done that, and then you're taking out damage from your 3. And that is how you burst them down really quick. So you basically use your whole kit, and that is how you can burst them so quick. I'm going to demonstrate on Raw one last time. I feel like I'm kind of bullying him now. Let me try it on Ymir instead. Hopefully he doesn't freeze me. So we go invis, put that down. Right, so you saw from there. Okay, Ymir, calm down. I will go on you instead. Because he's moving too much. Right, but you still saw Ymir, like I completely destroyed him. Do that. So I'm fighting him in my 2. That is the main thing that you gotta realize. That you start fighting him in 2. Number 1, they're gonna go blind. And number 2, they're gonna start suffering behind you no matter where you attack. They're gonna be facing you, but because they're suffering from your 2, they'll be taking extra damage, 20% damage from behind you. So that is tips and tricks on how to play Loki, how to use his abilities. And I'm gonna go on to the last thing, which is level ability order. Your 2 has always been your wave clear, so that's why you max your 2. I max my 2, then my 3, then I, you know, kind of switch between my 1 and my 4. Main reason being the 2 is your clear, so obviously you want to max that. Secondly, you do your 3 because number 1, it does really good damage, and it's your second damaging ability really. Your 1 is mainly just for, you know, movement speed and kind of auto attack cancelling and damage, but it's mainly your 3. Secondly, you do your 3 because it has been buffed. It does increase damage now, or had increased scaling if you watch one of my Loki videos. So it's got increased scaling damage now, and it just does really good damage. So after your 2, max your 3. After that, your ult is pretty much just for CC, because after ulting, your other abilities will guarantee you the kill, and your 1 is just for that extra tick damage. So that's why I'll do my 2, 3, prioritize my 1 more than my ult, but just alternate. So 1 ult, 1 ult, 1 ult, whichever way, you know, you want to do it. But definitely do your 2, 3, 1, 4 at the same time. That's basically how you want to do the leveling ability order. And yeah, that's pretty much how you want to be doing him. And not to mention, you know, I just realized that the Crusher attack speed definitely really helps as well in the base pen, which is really good. But yeah, that's how you want to be building and playing Loki. If you do have any questions, make sure you leave it in the description below, and I'll be happy to answer them. Check out my other Loki videos on my channel, or in the link in the description. I'll leave them there. It just shows you really... well, it shows you in detail how this build works, and you know how good it is, on how to one-shot gods, and you know, like, just things such as, like, that's how fast you're supposed to use your 2 and your ult. A lot of people don't do that, you know, just wait or whatever. No, you gotta be fast with it. You gotta assassinate them. That's why it's called assassinate. But yeah, hope you guys did enjoy the video. If you did, make sure to leave a like down below. Any other gods that you want to see, I'll see if I play those gods. I'll make videos on how to play them as well. Any questions you do have, even though I think I've gone through everything, I'll leave that below as well. If you are new and you're enjoying the content, make sure you subscribe. Other than that, I'll see you guys in the next video.